Hey everyone, welcome back to the Stern Spiel.
Hello, everybody. I am Veronica Stern's dad, a.k.a. Charlie Stern. This show is all about what's going on in our lives, and it's an opportunity to have a father-daughter conversation approximately once a week.
Guys, we're going coconuts here because this is our fifth take of the podcast today. Why, you may ask?
Because I'm not conversational enough. Because I don't listen well.
No, I never said you don't listen well, Dad. I just said,
Okay.
I don't know the type of podcast that you're listening to, but the type of podcast I listen to, I know they have a structure, but they also have this, stream of consciousness about them that is easy to listen to.
Okay, stream of consciousness. So don't interview me. Don't interview you. Just talk back and forth like I'm doing right now.
Yes.
Okay, but don't be obvious about it. But don't make it sound like I'm interviewing you.
But, okay, I don't know how to explain the interview thing. It's just like a stream of consciousness thing.
Yeah.
And I think we can get there. I know we can get there. We just have to be more, come to the plate with things we want to talk about, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, so there's a couple of things going on. You told me that you feel like you're underemployed. What does that mean for Veronica?
So underemployed to me means that I am working, but I'm not making as much as I really should be making with the skill level that I have, the talent that I have, the work ethic that I have. I just don't think I'm making as much as I could be making.
Well, hold on. That's a little different than what I heard before. So
No, it's not.
when you say I'm not making, you mean money making?
Yes.
Because I don't think it should be. You should think of it in terms of money making at
shouldn't.
all. Underemployed to me means you're not as productive as you could be.
I think productivity plays into that.
Yeah, and yes, how much money you make is one metric of it,
guess.
I think, but I don't think that's the main thing. When people say they're unemployed or underemployed, I think what they mean is they're not leveraging their capabilities.
That's literally what I just said.
And I think that's what you're trying to say.
It is literally what I just said.
You literally said you're not making enough.
Okay, fine. I meant, and I said
if what
for
you
the
meant
level and skill that I have.
I think maybe what you meant was you're not making enough of your capabilities.
Perhaps.
But what you were implying was not making enough money.
No, I think that that's a part of it for sure, but I'm not trying to be like, I should make more money. That's not what I'm saying. I think, yes, I'm not doing enough with the skill that I have.
Right.
And I want to be doing more.
I understand, and that totally makes sense. I mean, what we were talking about here is a young woman at the age of 25. You're thinking differently about the world than you did when you were 17 and you began your musical theater journey.
Isn't that normal though?
Yes.
So I just wish that as a society we could normalize not changing the idea of what you thought you would be doing at the age of 17.
Mm-hmm.
That is a child.
Right.
What in the world are we doing allowing children to go to college and say, I'm going to be a doctor at 17? Yes, some people end up doing that, but also what if you want to change your mind?
You're raising huge issues, okay? And I'm looking at it having been through, I've been the 17-year-old, I've been the 25-year-old, and I've been the parent of the 16 and 17-year-old who is trying to figure out what to do, where to go to college, and there's a whole range of decisions that you have to make way before you can possibly understand the implications. And so what do kids do? They choose the wrong thing, they make the wrong decision, and then they, fix it up later.
Yes.
I think that's a part of life.
But I don't think I made the wrong decision. That's the one thing I want to say.
I don't either.
I believe that I am a performer, but I also believe that means I can do so mmany things other than just perform on a stage. And I think it should be okay to say that.
It is, and Veronica, let me say, I'm trying, not just saying this, to chimp for the camera, okay? You should be doing that, okay? You should constantly be reevaluating. And the mistake, and this is a mistake some people make, I think, is not making that correction along the way.
Yeah.
Because, if you say when you're 16, well, I want to be a anthropologist, and you pursue that course and you get the greatest job that the Smithsonian Institution has to offer, and you do that. And he says, I am not well suited to this, but you keep doing it for 30 or 40 years. I think that can ruin you psychologically, right? I'm just using that as one example.
No, I know what you're saying. And I think that without being super dramatic, I am at a place where I've had success. I'm so grateful, but I'm also like, what else can I do? And I want to be doing a lot more. And that's where I'm at. Right. I'm on LinkedIn every single day trying to find new jobs, but I'm not trying to be like a brain surgeon all of a sudden. I'm still trying to do things that are in my realm. It's just scary because I think that especially at school, it's very frowned upon to at least when I was there. It's very different now.
But hang on. School in that sentence is a musical theater arts program.
Conservatory, yes.
And so what's the outlook on the 25-year-old that changes?
Well, when I was there, I had this feeling, but I was literally told, and I'm not trying to be like, I'm going to read them. No, I was literally told, if you have other things that you want to pursue, maybe this isn't for you.
Okay.
I was told that as an 18-year-old, I was told that.
Right.
And so then at the time I was like, oh my God, I guess I don't want to, I'm not the type of person that can't focus on many different things, but they're telling me that if I have interest beyond singing and dancing on a stage, I'm wrong and I can't do anything else.
Yeah, I guess maybe you were getting that messaging because it does require a discipline that very few people have.
Yes, but the thing that I think is problematic, and I know that they don't do this anymore, which I'm really happy about, but imagine being told that when you're 18 and then getting to a point where you're like, ooh, I'm feeling like that feeling again where I want to be doing other things with the skill that I already have, but feeling like, ooh, but that must mean that I'm not disciplined enough. Huh?
Roll the clock back a second.
That doesn't even make sense.
Hold on. Roll the clock back a second. When you were considering where to go to college, you're 25 now, those conversations were happening at 16 and 17.
Yeah.
And you were considering whether to get a bachelor's in fine arts or go to a program where that was more generalized. I think Michigan might have been like that, or some other schools.
Michigan wasn't like that. But yes, other schools were like that.
There were other schools where it was much less directly and solely focused on triple threat, right? And it went through my mind at times like, what can you do with this degree if you're not a performer? And I remember having those conversations, but I don't think it necessarily is. I think you made a perfect choice because you've been very successful in this career. You've performed, you've walked the walk and talked the talk that very few people get an opportunity to do and achieve.
Yeah.
And, I never thought it was a life career. And, I thought it was like a 7-year career. And frankly, you're in year 5 of it.
Yeah.
So that's not too bad. You've performed in Broadway tours. You've traveled for months and months at a time. You've genuinely made a living as a performer in the arts corner of the world that very few people are successful at.
Yeah.
Now, you can be a performer at other things. You could be a performer as a lawyer. You could be a performer as a technology sales rep. I don't recommend it, but you could. And that particular field I don't recommend. But the point is, you're never going to stop performing. So see yourself as successful, figure out what kind of transition makes sense for you and go forward.
Thank you. That's just going to be something that I think comes up for a while on the podcast while I'm trying to, it's not a transition because I'm not like ending my career in the like this theater, like that's not what's happening. It's just like I'm trying to level up in a way that I feel is sustainable because I feel like I'm hitting this point right now where the way that I'm working, and this is not like, oh, I'm working too much. It's not that. It's just more so like I want to work a little smarter than I am right now, and I'm just trying to figure out how to do that.
And what would that look like if you were working smarter?
Oh, God. I mean, I think a lot of it would be applying my skills in a way that is less taxing on my mental well-being. That's a big one.
Right.
Being in spaces that are a little bit less, I don't know the right word, but being in different types of spaces and kind of leveling up those spaces as well.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know how to explain it. I'm maybe I'll come back next week and try to have more.
And when you're talking about spaces, you mean like the fact that when you're a performer, you have to work at 8:00 every night, and when everybody else is not working?
Yes, but I'm also like I'm still hesitant to say that I'm trying not to do that. Like, that's not what I'm trying to say. Like, I get scared to say that because I'm afraid that if I say that, somebody's going to hear that and be like, oh, she doesn't want to be on Broadway now.
She doesn't appreciate the theater.
Like, no, like, that's obviously not the case. Like, if Broadway called me tomorrow, I probably would do it. Probably. Like, there's a lot that goes into that. That's a lot on my body. That's a lot. It's things that I have experienced. I'm like, I have to really think about it.
Right.
And it's less of like what I was saying before of like the 17-year-old. It's like, I want to be a performer.
Right.
Yeah, because when you're 17, like, you can do a split and not have your whole body hurt the next day. And, you know, a lot of different things that I think people that if anybody watches this, they're probably like, this girl is ridiculous because she's 25 years old. But I've been through some stuff performing so far that I'm like, I don't know if I can do that for my whole life.
There are some life choices that have to be made. Brave to talk about it. So listen, there's other things that we can talk about on this episode of the podcast.
Yeah.
If you were to ask me what are the last 3 TV shows I've watched?
What are the last 3 TV shows you watched?
CNN, CBS News, and NBC. And that's pretty much all I've watched for the past 10 days. I mean, what haven't we been through in the past 10 days?
Honestly, at this point...
Primetime speeches with Biden.
Prime time.
And
twice.
Yeah, and on the airplane, off the airplane, and COVID, and out of the race, and
a president getting shot.
New top of the ticket, and president being shot. Yes, like it's just unbelievable what's going on here, and I've never been so glued to CBS News in my life.
Well, I mean... I have thoughts about that.
And
because
I watch
it's
a lot
not,
of news.
It's not okay how the news plays 24/7 in our house. Like, we might as well get another TV that just plays the news.
Well, that's the kitchen TV.
I suppose, but it's just too much. Because we constantly have the news in our phones, and then we have the news on the TV all the time. So what's new? What is possibly new at this point?
Let's talk about the phone for a second, okay?
What?
Because I got on Twitter the last week or two, and it's really the gutter of the internet. I don't know how Twitter is going to. I don't know how Twitter is going to be viable on a long-term basis because it's hate speech that's going on there, and it's really awful. It's a lot of stuff that's directed at Kamala Harris. She's been phenomenally successful in a period of days with fundraising, with Zeitgeist, with the whole thing. You were talking about
Brat Summer.
I didn't even know what that was. But the fact that she even has like a contemporary themed following is absolutely phenomenal to me.
I mean, let me say this. The Kamala lore on Twitter has been brewing for a few weeks. And I'm like low-key a conspiracy theorist when it comes to this stuff. Like, I have a feeling somebody was planted on Twitter and was like, guys, look at this edit I made of Kamala saying coconut tree, and then like making edits of, you know, the coconut or the Brat song over it. So I do think... And we probably will never know the answer, but I think that was planted in some way just to see if it could take off, and then it really took off.
It's going to be very difficult. It's going to be, Veronica.
What?
I think that the Trump is going to have a very hard time campaigning against Kamala Harris. I have a feeling the vice presidential. This is my prediction. I think it's going to be Mark Kelly.
When are they announcing that?
I don't know when she's going to announce the vice president, but very soon. And I think it's going to be Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona. Okay. And there will be no stopping. That ticket could win. They could win. At a minimum, I think they're going to prevent the total meltdown that we were headed for.
Oh, yeah.
Which was White House, House of Representatives, and Senate. I don't think that's going to happen. Can Kamala Harris win the White House is still somewhat of an open question. So I'm looking and I'm thinking there's a lot of things that have to happen right.
But I will say this. I think that in 2016, that question, can this person win 107 days out, went away, because we realized that you really cannot guarantee what's going to happen until it happens, which sounds like so like ooh, but like it's just the truth. Like, she can have all of this momentum and she can be wonderful and performing super well, but until the night of Tuesday, November, whatever it is, you don't know what's going to happen, because we just live in this world that is so unpredictable. And I think that people also, like, they look at the wrong things.
You're saying it's going to be a close race, and I agree with that broad.
I mean, I guess.
I agree with that statement broadly, but you used one word at the beginning that explains everything else that's happening. She. Women are going to decide what happens in this race.
You think so?
I am sure of it, because in 2016, 60%, 60, of white women voted for Donald Trump.
Wow.
I don't think that's going to happen again.
You don't?
No, because there's a stronger female candidate, Kamala Harris.
But do you think that
from
the
what
women...
I've seen, time out, from what I've seen thus far, I might not have predicted this a month ago, but from what I am seeing now, she has zeitgeist and charisma that Hillary Clinton did not have.
Oh, well, that's not a question.
And so if that's as clear as I think it is and you think it is, I think it's going to bring a lot of white women from the suburbs who previously were voting for Trump.
Yeah, but the thing is... over,
and that's how this thing's going to go.
Do you think that the women that were voting for Trump in 2020 are women that would vote for Kamala Harris just because she is a woman?
I think that the world has continued to evolve. Yes, I do. I think that the Dobbs decision, the continued, trajectory of women's issues and women's empowerment and women's visibility in politics continues to build and build and build. It's 8 years later. And there's a better candidate, and I think Mark Kelly is going to be a better candidate than her running mate was. So there are some dynamics here.
Who was Hillary Clinton's candidate or vice president?
Yeah, I just saw him on TV yesterday.
Kaine? Something?
Tim Kaine.
Tim Kaine?
Yeah.
That was a bad pick.
No, he wasn't strong.
What was that?
Not a bad guy. He might even be a very capable legislator, but he wasn't a great candidate, and he didn't bring the right energy to the thing.
Can I say something, though? I was watching a video of Shapiro. What's his first name?
Josh
Shapiro from Pennsylvania.
Right.
I wish that he could be the pick, because he is so charismatic, but it won't work because they're both too like elite kind of vibes.
He's Jewish.
It's not right.
It's just not going to happen.
Just to be clear, you are Jewish saying that statement.
Right. I just want to be clear about this. No, and you know who else said it? A ton of people. Okay, I've been having this conversation for weeks with all kinds of people. And Van Jones on CNN said the exact same thing 2 nights ago. Go back and look it up. It's a lot, okay? Black, South Asian, Indian, female at the top of the ticket, okay? We're not going to add to that expecting the entire broad population of the United States to vote for a ticket where the other person happens to be Jewish. It's asking too much at one time. Let's be reasonable. It's not going to happen. So, and he's not going to do it. And for that matter, although he might be a worthy candidate, it's not going to happen.
Sure.
The other one is Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan.
Oh, no.
Who for first of all, she might be very capable. 2 women on the ticket. I don't know. I'm not saying it's impossible.
It's not impossible. Not against Trump.
This whole thing is such a stunt. Okay,
Yeah.
the fact that she's moved to the top of the ticket after a primary occurred, it's not without some potential consequence. Now, it's going to be fine because nobody is raising their hand and saying, I want it. So it's fine, okay? And she's going to be... But you can't then insert another wild card into the middle of it. So that's why I think it's going to end up being Mark Kelly.
It's going to be a very interesting week, I am sure, to see how that unfolds, because the craziness of politics is not over. And if anything, we have 103 days, I think, until the election,
Now,
and it's only going to get worse. So all's that to say, we will be talking about this for, I'm sure, a long time.
Everyone will be.
One thing that I want to end with is, what's one thing you're looking forward to in the next week?
Well, the
politics aside.
Oh, okay. I was going to say the Mark Kelly announcement. Thing I'm looking forward to over the next week. It's troubling to me that I can't readily answer that question.
It's troubling, really, Dad.
I'm looking forward to next week's recording of this show. I want to make it better every single week. I want this to be a popular podcast. There's a lot of things that I'm doing on the tech side to make it look better and sound better. There's a lot of things that Veronica's doing to pull the editing together and to kind of get the story out there to a broader audience.
Marketing.
And we want to make the best podcast we possibly can. And you guys, if anybody's listening and there are things that you think we should be talking about, put them in the comments and we probably will talk about it.
So yeah, the thing I'm looking forward to.
We will talk about it.
The thing I'm looking forward to, thanks for asking, is I just got an electric toothbrush.
Yes, and I was actually pleased to hear that only costs $20. Because I thought you were headed for
150,
at least 80.
Okay, well, to be fair, electric toothbrushes are pretty expensive. And when the dental hygienist, or whatever their position is called, when I asked him, he was like, I mean, they're kind of expensive, so you don't need it, but it is better. You do get a better result. Oh my God. Life is changed. I can't believe I wasn't brushing with an electric toothbrush before this.
They work. Yeah.
I have been a manual toothbrush person for my entire life because, I don't know, that's what I believed worked. And I was always little circle sweep. But yesterday I asked the dental hygienist, hey, should I get an electric toothbrush? And he was like, you should. They work really, really well, and they make your teeth super clean. And the biggest thing that he said to me that really convinced me, when you use a manual toothbrush, it's inevitable that you're going to scrub back and forth. Mm-hmm. And that's not good for your gums. Yep. Because over time, it will just make them erode, essentially.
Yeah, Veronica, I know you don't like it when I rush you, but it's not a dental show. Okay? And the only thing I can add to this, because it's a two-way street and we're having a conversation, I would say this to you under any circumstances, recorded or otherwise, you got to floss. Because if you floss, the best quality brushing doesn't matter.
I floss every day.
If you don't floss, you don't get the benefit of the brushing. That's it. That's all I have to say. Now, are we in the health section of the show still? Because I am looking forward to something that I want to talk about.
What?
You asked me what I'm looking forward to the next week.
What?
I am looking forward to getting my second dose of a medicine that I started taking last month to treat cluster headaches.
Okay.
So I'm sharing something personal about myself. I suffer from cluster headaches, and it looks like it's a cluster headache pattern with a migraine overlay. It's a terrible, terrible thing to live with. Making the story as short as possible and as concise as possible, I see a neurologist. The neurologist prescribed something new called Emgality. It's advertised on television like a lot of other medicines, and my fingers are crossed. It seems to be working. But this medicine is administered as a subcutaneous, which means it's a shot that you have to take once a month. It's actually 3 shots that are administered all at one time. And so dose number 2 is coming up next week.
Do the shots have any side effects? So, and what I mean by that is when Ozempic first went on the market, it was like a diabetes thing, and it just so happened that people would lose weight.
Right.
So I'm just
Oh,
wondering.
okay. Oh, no. There's not like some secondary benefit to taking this. Like, it doesn't make your hair grow faster or something. Like, no.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. If you have headaches bad enough to get a prescription for this, all you want is relief from those headaches. There is no describing how disruptive it is to your life. In fact, I saw the television commercials for this stuff. There's another product that I think is the same.
The one that Lady Gaga does?
Nortec, yes.
Yep.
Yes. That is actually, I think it's the same compound from a different pharmaceutical company.
Probably.
And each one works a little different things. I'm not a doctor. But the relief that it has brought is so significant that it's actually transformative. So I'm looking forward to getting that second dose. Yes, there are side effects. I don't want to go into the gory details because I don't want people to feel like I'm trying to prescribe it or anything like that. But the main side effect is just the redness at the injection point, which I barely had any at all.
Well, I think that's a good enough place to end today's episode. We made it through our 5th take.
Don't you want to hear how I got the shot?
No. What?
I called one of Mommy's friends who's a nurse, and she came over to the house and administered it.
Are you going to call her every time?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I am, as a matter of fact. Or what I might do is pick it up and then drive to her house and have her administer it at her house.
Okay. How did I miss her coming over?
I guess you weren't here.
All right.
But I gave her a Dunkin' Donuts card as a thank you.
Oh, that's nice.
I will do that every time.
Okay.
It's well worth it because they expect you to give that shot to yourself. I'm not doing that.
Why? Is it scary?
Is it a little scary.
Pen?
It's not so much a pen as it looks more like a needle. It looks a little bit like a retractable pen, but then when you push that plunger down, the needle comes out. And
whatever. Well, you know what, Dad?
I'm not
Whatever
doing it.
works
I'm not
for you.
doing it. I'm not doing that. I'm hire a nurse.
Okay. Whatever works for you. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you're getting the relief. We will see you all next week. Please subscribe, like this, comment. I think we're going to put this on Spotify. So please rate and review so that we can get our numbers up. And we will see you guys next week on the Stern Spiel. Bye.
Bye, everybody.